So what's hard coin? In the show Barstool, or Bar Rescue rather, it's side note real quick. Having two zippers is one's broken, and then one you get the benefit of the doubt and you get it to work even though there's stuff always gets stuck in it. But that's a side note. What's depreciating liquidation of a flux in ratios? This is what we're talking about, people. But the tax percentages. In America, we scoff at people who are of royals because our ancestries left Great Britain through not wanting to be part of a royal society. When there are taxes of what a stool in a bar is, there is a bar. It's like a coffee shop. It closes at 5 and it turns into a bar. This is called an Arts Mill. And there's like I can name 3 different stores. One's Yarn, one's the bar 024, and one's a coffee shop. And all their hours change. And there may or may not be a yoga store above. All 4 businesses share this historic building called the Arts Mill. And it's like, I don't know, the size of a warehouse, but 3 stories. Not the size of the warehouse of Amazon. Those are the sizes of castles, 1 story. But it's like a third the size of Amazon, 3 stories. That's what an Arts Mill is. And at a different time, it's as though one establishment is open and they rule roughshod over the entire facility. And so in developing one's facility, who's ever the business that's currently operating takes charge of the whole building as if it's their castle. And I'm not trying to be rude, but there's a few places with Wi-Fi where I get signal, and one is at the Arts Mill. And I just got told that if I'm not buying anything, I have to leave. So I went over to the curb because I'm a curbside all-star, and lo and behold, that's the outcome of what is Royal Society. Each seat would be worth like $30. They say this as like in schools, each seat is $12,000 a year in public schools. So in the show Barstool, and you can grant it that in any bar, any seat is worth $30 the day that you would be sitting in it and getting kicked out. I've been kicked out inside of one bar in Iowa, and they said they didn't like me vlogging and I'm not allowed to order anything. I was just going to order soda on record, but they said, no, we don't like what you're doing. You're out of here. So it's not that I didn't want to spend any money at 024. I was just appalled because I've been kicked out of a bar, the same one, a third time, is because I was talking to a guy who looked like a hippie. And so the bartender was like, I don't want you guys doing any funny business. And we're so disgusted at that narrative that we just left the bar. You can count that as a kick out, because any bartender willing to save grace with that objective in an MO is on its face worth just leaving, because it isn't even, you go to a bar to have like a pleasantry. If a bar's tender is setting a narrative that there's funny business because someone looks a certain way and judging a book by its cover, that's an easy way to have an MO of just being kicked out prima facie. What was the main emphasis? I'm always amazed at animals when they start killing each other, how like they've got their neck protected. So lions, most notably, have a mane around their neck. It's these things like warthogs and like wildebeest. They always have their neck in like this jutted position where it would be really hard to sever. And notably in human anatomy, it's called a cross section. Actually, it's called like cross something. It's not cosplay. That's in LGBT, which I just jumped off a place and they had an LGBT flag, so I didn't really care about jumping off a place with the LGBT flag because they're dysfunctional prima facie. Look at this ball. Is it dysfunctional? Being in the center, I'm going to kick it out so no one runs over it. Stay tuned. I used to play soccer. Ugh, nice kick, don't go on the road. See, someone does this and it goes in the road and it now is falling down the gutter. But how much of a problem is it of a pylon if someone would throw something in the road? This morning I found a metal clipper of a toenail clipper in the gutter and another sharp object. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I found two sharp objects in the road. And if I was the one to put them there, it would make a car tire pop and make a pylon to the likes of cars that crash. And anyone's throwing stuff in the road, there's one thing you don't do is block the road. And so if you're making like parking in the middle of the road, this is my biggest pet peeve. People who do this to get their fix of like owning the road. This is the same thing with the British Royal Society. It's owning an entire building and saying what is going down there. The Arson Mill, it's like the historic area in Grafton, and this guy's treating it like it's his basement. And let that set in, because the same thing happens with the road and the curb. I said, I'll be on the curb. And the curb's the one place that you can go where you know that no one can say that it's for sale. Unless they start selling real estate on the curb, which happens at restaurants. But in all intentional purposes, this guy in Slipknot, he was saying that there's real estate and this DJ scratching, and it's areas where you have this backlash that you control. And whenever you control backlashes, it's real estate. And just take that prima facie. Whether you like it or not, I be sparkling hot. I be the brightest in the lot because this fire is not something you can put out, something other than a drought. I'm like 10 times over something more than you can put your thumb on. I put over something better than you would have bet on. That's because I'm over enough. It's not over until I got over my bills. I've got stacked up till like it's enough that I got a bloodhound coming out. He looking for a gold mine because I taught him just how to sniff out these gold nuggets about them. They're gonna be about them. This not blood diamond. I'm on one. There's no two ways about it. Don't go down south cause they be rowdy. We in the north cause we won the Civil War and this not the war then. And I'm not locked up behind the bars cause this not a bar scene. I'm always obscene. There's no two ways about me. It is what it is. You got me, but don't call me G. We not affiliated with the affiliates. So that means I'm not paid for sugar-free. Paid for sugar-free. Take that how it is. feed a carrot cake to your horse, get an 8 carat. I'm back with the gold and you know it's got merit. All this gold around me, you ain't spare shit. Speakers on this door behind me. So whenever I go to McDonald's or this club and it's speakers playing, I'm vulnerable for a copyright strike, which means that I can get sued by the people who produce the music they're playing inside of those stereos. Inanimate objects that act like people inside of the arts mill, saying that I have to buy something in order to stay there. They can press charges for trespassing if he wanted to be an a-hole. That's why complaints are scary, because they can actually have fruition, which means gain legs. Once AI gains legs, is equivalent and no different than a human being telling you you have to buy something or leave. Hurry up and buy. Or a radio playing in the background of a video that you upload onto a woke platform, dare I say. And then you get copywritten and sued. Is what it is, and that's what I'm going against. But besides the plate lift, I don't demasculate because I ain't part of them. Things might seem savvy, but really aren't all that in a bag of potato chips. The LGBT flag, I covered this in a vlog, and this color blast with tie-dye is like all these different colors together. It's called a full spectrum. And in visibility with light, I heard that light has like all different colors together, and that's how we view stuff is, and it makes sense with your blind spot, it would be absorbing all the different shades of light. And I know that my face is black right now because my shadow's out hard AF. But the colors you see are the ones that are devoid, and that's how you see them with your blind spot, something like that. And so with the LGBT flag, they're all sorted in bars, but with tie-dye, there's like squished because they're blasting. This is the difference between solid states and gaseous states, and this is important because hold on to the phone. Hold the phone. The most random thing is air. And so harmonics comes from air. They're tightly intertwined. And so if you ever note an entire universe that's electric being more strong than an entire universe being gravity, both of them are so whimsical prima facie that once you start intertwining them, then you actually start getting like dimensions. And so you can't say there's one and then the other. Because yes, the neurons of your brain have patterns and they fire off electric signals. And that's probably the most foundational support. On the other hand would be for gravity equal to the neurons, electricity of your brain being sound support would be the normal force to gravity being sound support. And these are great aptitudes to coalesce and weave together.